Lead crisis in Flint, Michigan continues to make global headlines. It's been pretty frightening to watch here at home. Families exposed to toxic levels of lead in their drinking water after the city switched to a new source. Many are wondering the big question, if that could happen here. Well, to help us answer those questions this morning, we are joined in studio by LaShonda Storm with the Spirit Place and Festival, as well as Denise Abdul-Rahman with the Indiana NAACP. Thank you both so much for joining us here this morning. This is such a timely topic, and let's start with you talking about right now the water quality here at home and where things stand.
Yes, Matt. We had a conversation with the Indianapolis's water utility, and they told us that Indianapolis's water is lead-free. They did, however, tell us that houses that were built before 1950, that the piping is typically a lead service pipe, and that houses that are built between 1950 and 1986 have copper and lead solder. So those may be the houses that may want to consider getting the free water testing from their local water utility.
And that kind of brings us to the big question so many people are wondering, could this happen here?
I suppose that it could happen if decisions that were made, such as that was made in Flint, whereas the water was switched from the Lake Huron to the Flint River, and then that water was not tested. So the due diligence did not take place. I would like to think that the local decision makers here in Indianapolis would not make such a decision, or the state of Indiana.
And with so many things on top of mind right now, that's actually part of a very important conversation that's coming up.
So yes, this today from 3 to 5 we're actually having the kickoff of an 8-part series called Gentrify: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where we explore gentrification from various angles, not just the idea of displacement, but what does it look like when it impacts environment and health? What does it look like around education? So today's first discussion is called Can It Happen Here? The Flint, Michigan Water Crisis, and what has led to that, because there are issues around disinvestment and things that actually created the space for that tragedy to happen, and what are the long-term implications, because these children are impacted for life. So who's going to take responsibility for that? So today we will actually have Dr. Tamara Leach will be at this public community discussion, who's actually done a lot of work in Indianapolis around lead organizing, as well as Contrinell Davis from University of Vermont, who actually lived and worked in Flint around community organizing, specifically dealing with the lead in Flint before the crisis happened.
Right, before the crisis. Okay, so real quick, when is this event? It's today.
It's today, 3 to 5,
3 to 5.
at Kepler Institute, which is located at 3549 Boulevard. It's on the backside of the Crown Hill Cemetery, right off of 38th Street.
Thank you both very much. An important conversation. We know a lot of people will be turning out to that, so thank you for joining us this morning to tell us a little bit more.
Thank you.